Hello and welcome back to Topical, that podcast that never seems to get any shorter. I'm your host Ryan Moret. I'm here with my good friend Andrew Truelove, and this is our last pre-release episode. Right now, the plan is we're gonna put 10 of these up around the same time, and you guys are gonna have plenty to backload through. So be appreciative. On this episode of Topical, the plan is just to go through this 20-page outline that I've accrued and probably focus more on science and history, skip over politics, going into sports, and
Skip over politics, just
we're not getting controversial yet. And then
gingerly dance around politics.
hopefully, and then we'll go into some more personal stuff that could be interesting. So I guess I'll start you with a relatively simple question. What do you think about pheromones?
What? As in, do I believe? What about them? There's a lot of. That's a very broad question.
It is a very broad question. Do you? I suppose you would already believe in them, unless you're.
Yeah, I mean they obviously exist due to just animals. I mean, I don't know if a human pheromones exist really. I don't think that that's a thing.
Oh, really?
But
I think that's a thing.
what do you think human pheromones are?
Well, I think they're just the smells that come off of the human body to.
So just someone's natural scent.
Yeah, and that's going to be a genetic tracer
think
for other people.
That's attractive to other humans, though.
Well, not attractive, but it's a genetic tracer for other people. They can get a sense of your genetics, and I believe the primal instinct is if they smell a whole lot different than you, then you're going to want to date them. Because that's going. Obviously,
Yeah.
that will just increase the reproductive success.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's my 2 cents on pheromones. I guess technically, yeah, humans have pheromones, and I think the pheromones in the animal kingdom are very interesting, especially in bees.
Yeah, bees.
Bees are very interesting creatures in terms of their activities and their structures. They're very smart.
Yeah, they are. They're a lot like ants in a way, except they fly.
Yeah, and rain is bad for them,
And
as bad as it is for ants.
and they get more movies.
And they get a lot more. You like jazz? Oh man.
Yeah. Do you think some more recent scientific advancements are worth the money? Stuff like the Large Hadron Collider costing around $1 billion.
I think that's definitely worth the money. I think whatever we can do to take that next leap in technology and science is worth the money. Especially, some of these spacecraft, like the James Webb Telescope that we were talking about was that a few episodes ago, or was it? I think it was a few episodes ago.
Yeah, I think so.
And then also SpaceX's work with all of their shuttles and landers. They're so expensive, but I feel like they're going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Hopefully something comes of it, and it's just not just a giant waste of money.
Yeah, it just seems like more recently in science, there's a big trend to just not even discover things, but just prove theoretical concepts exist and not really look at how you can apply them in real life. Even if you look at something like NASA, you had tangible things that were being created, and those could be applied to daily life. But us knowing, oh, okay, there's a Higgs boson particle, or oh, there's gravitational waves, that's not really helpful to us right now.
It's not really things that we need to know as the general public, or even as an educated public, or members of just scientific academia. People just don't really care that much about that right now because we can't really. I mean, it doesn't really affect us as much as we would have been affected beforehand.
Yeah, and it's just dealing with a bunch of subatomic particles that are ultimately too small to really affect much for us.
Yeah.
The only real thing I could see coming from it is just having enough of an understanding to create a better universe simulation. It seems like it's a bit of the end goal.
Universe sandbox.
Well, isn't that the ultimate goal?
Oh yes. I would love to play a realistic universe sandbox game like that. I think they have one. I'm pretty sure it's called Universe Sandbox. Or Universe Sandbox Squared.
I thought you were talking about No Man's Sky.
No. Yeah, Universe Sandbox Squared. May 2008.
2008. That must be pretty
That's
outdated.
the first one that came out. The second one came out. Uh, let's see, when did it come out? Here, I can see it on Steam. I will tell you. 2015.
Okay, so that's
August 24th,
a
2015.
little better. And then you have something like Kerbal Space Program, where they have a bunch of really in-depth physics, but just having that minute understanding of every subatomic particle, I guess, makes it all the more realistic.
Kerbal Space Program's physics are so wonky. I
Oh, are
can't
they?
even. Yeah, I mean, some of them make sense, but sometimes you'll build something that you know is going to work, and it just doesn't at all. And you're like, wait, this makes sense. You just change one piece, and all of a sudden everything works fine. You're like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Mm. I always wanted to try that game, but I'm too cheap.
You could torrent it, but I don't know if your computer could handle it.
I don't know. My computer can't even handle editing some of these. I don't think I even want to try loading a game like that.
Yeah.
I haven't even opened StarCraft that I got. Well,
We should try that sometime, though.
Yeah, we should. If we can't get something like the Jackbox thing, then at least we can try that. Yeah, we were really dismayed to find out that the Jackbox TV games that I've seen a lot of fond reviews on on YouTube, apparently they cost money.
Yes,
How dare they?
How dare they? How dare they make our fun cost money, Ryan?
Yeah, they should be ashamed of themselves.
I know. They should just release their product that's very smart and has a lot of people intrigued for free all the time for everyone.
Yeah.
I think that's the most logical course of action. Just business manager. All right, we should stop having people pay $25 and give it away. What?
Yeah, I guess there isn't a lot of ad space on that game.
No, not really. Just between games, an ad plays. That would be so annoying. I would stop playing. I think a lot of people would stop playing.
Yeah. Plus, the games last like 20 minutes.
Yeah, the games do last a while, and it's more fun if you have like 8 people.
Yeah.
But if you only have 2 people, you can't even play. They're all 3 to 8 players.
Okay, let's see. Wait, what do you think about Schrodinger's cat?
Again, what about it?
Do you think it's real?
No. What do you think it's dead inside the box? I think it's alive inside the box.
Well, no. Do you believe in the concept?
Sure. Let's say sure for argument's sake. I believe in the concept.
Okay, so where I wanted to take this was, do you think it illustrates the pathway for parallel dimensions?
I don't think it illustrates the pathway for parallel dimensions. I had a stroke right there. I couldn't say illustrates.
Hey, don't joke about that.
Illustrates. No, yeah, I don't think it does.
Why not?
Why would you say it does?
Well, because some atomic particles, with the whole thing of superpositions, them being able to exist and not exist and be in one place but be at another place at the same time, are they just jumping between dimensions?
I guess, but just the whole idea around superposition is it's all chance. It could or could not occur, and it could or could not be both there and not there. It's a lot of ifs. But yeah, I understand. If you're thinking about it from that way, yes, it could technically open up the pathway for multiple dimensions.
Yeah, because there's got to be something that'll open it up. There's too many dimensions in string theory for us being in a multiverse to not make sense. And yeah, I think at least 3 of those dimensions have to do with just them being parallel in different ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do you speaking of really a theoretical physics topics, do you understand any of the math behind string theory and why there are 11 dimensions?
No. I've studied a little bit of string theory, but that's not really my area of expertise. I don't think I've even seen any math for string theory.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. Here, now I want to see
string theory equation.
Yeah, now I want to see one of the equations.
What is string theory? Superstringtheory.com.
Ooh, that's a lot of symbols I do not know.
Yeah, me too. I was about to start reading it, and I don't even know what the first one is.
Well, that's just an imaginary number, I think. But
Is it?
yeah, I don't know what A prime is. Alpha prime is. That looks kind of weird.
Where is alpha prime?
Under the square root.
Oh, I see.
Ooh, and then there's like a Riemann sum. That's fun.
Oh my.
Oh, and they're bringing in pi and tau at the same time.
Oh no.
That's not good.
This isn't gonna end well.
No, we should probably get off this rabbit hole.
T substring 1/2 pi.
Ooh, I just looked at the derivation for it. That does not look good.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Okay, we're closing this.
Yeah, okay.
It's hurting my brain, Ryan.
Yeah.
Get it away.
Alright, I'm gonna shut that rabbit hole. So, yeah, I guess a better question would be, have you looked at any mathematical proofs?
I mean, not really. Math is really not my strong suit, nor is it something that interests me a lot. Like, I watch Numberphile, and I'm interested in primes and a lot of prime conjectures. And just in general, primes are really fun to deal with, and they're really interesting the way that they form. But, you know, I don't really spend my free time looking at mathematical proofs of all different sizes and shapes.
Yeah, my roommate at that pre-college program, actually, he did do that in his free time.
Oh my.
And he made me feel really bad about myself as a prospective math major.
Yeah, he's like, what do you mean you don't know the twin prime conjecture? And you're like, the what?
Yeah, like we were at a restaurant and I was eating like pizza fries or something because I had to have pizza all during that trip. And he on his napkin he was like doing Euclidean proofs.
You're like, dude, calm down. It's okay.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was trying to show me up or something.
He's probably just trying to impress you and make a friend.
Yeah. It was really funny because he was in the programming portion of the camp and he was like, I don't know any programming.
You're like, I got you, buddy. It's okay.
Yeah, and we were doing stuff with OCaml and that is not beginner stuff.
No, it's not. The guy's like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, basically OCaml is, for people who don't know, it's a
Oh yeah.
it's a software that's designed to create compilers for programs. So like it's not really a program that the compiler uses. It creates the compiler for other programs. And basically a compiler is just something that takes you can think of it as like a converter. Like it takes all of the coding language and it makes it into an executable thing for the computer. So if I typed in, I don't know, I can't think of an example, but it's a converter.
See out, hello world.
Yeah.
And L.
I'm guessing you don't have a favorite proof then?
No. Do you?
None that I can think of. The only one I've really tried to read is the ABC conjecture, but that's just because that's really famous for being indecipherable. And like the whole story behind it is the person who created it like 10 years ago, he was like a recluse who lived in Japan, and I forget his name. What is it? Moshizuki. That was a horrible pronunciation. Moshizuki, and he submitted it in 2012, and like everyone in the math community is like, oh, thank God, someone's finally figured out the ABC conjecture because it's really important for number theory. And then they're all like, oh, wait, we can't actually understand any of this.
Like, wait, I have no clue what any of this is.
Yeah, and he had to create like this incredibly complicated new field of mathematics to even solve the thing, which you see pretty often for old proofs that they're trying to solve. I know Andrew Wilder did that for Fermat's last theorem, and he used like a Gaussian curvature or something.
You mean Andrew Wiles?
Oh, yeah. I don't know who Andrew Wilder is.
I was like, I don't know who Andrew Wilder is, but I know of Andrew Wiles. I was like, wait, hold on. Are we talking about the same guy or not? No, okay, we are. Cool.
Yeah. But this guy must have been...
Solvability of General Higher Degree Equations by Niels Hendrik Abel, 1824.
Yeah. But this guy must have been pretty full of himself to call his new brand of math interuniversal Tech-Mueller theory.
Jesus.
It actually has a Wikipedia page, but I don't know who's the crazy person that wants to try and explain that to the broader world.
They're like, this guy is insane. Okay.
Yeah, his proof is like 200 pages. Okay.
The rationality of the square root of 2. Pythagoras and his school.
Yeah.
500 BC.
Burn everything! Wasn't that
like,
what they did? They just went on a rampage after they couldn't resolve it.
I don't know. That sounds hilarious, though, if that's true.
Oh, we know the thing was anyone who would say to Pythagoras, "Hey, and not everything is rational," he would just kill them.
That's great.
Yeah, he is a bit of a crazy person.
The denumerability of rational numbers. I'm confused.
What's that about?
I'm reading.
Ah, yes,
Two sets are equal in magnitude if their elements can be put in one-to-one correspondence with each other. Wait, what?
I'm not even sure what that means.
For ease of notation, we will call this number D, since the set of all natural numbers and all sets of equal magnitude are often called denumerable. A set is denumerable, then, if and only if, it can be written as an infinite sequence, where the subscripts correspond to the natural numbers. In this case, A1 corresponds to the natural number 1, A2 to 2, and so on. I still don't understand what this is trying to prove. Maybe I'm just really stupid.
No, I'm not. I'm not understanding it either.
I'm confused. It seems as though they're just saying the list is the same if the numbers of the two lists are the same.
Well, that makes sense.
I think I'm completely misunderstanding.
Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. That brings up a whole argument in math about if all of the elements of a subset are the same as all the elements of the other subset, if the two subsets are the same thing. And that's a whole big debate in itself.
I'm trying to figure out. This means the natural numbers, the integers, and even integers. Wait, what? Oh, the natural numbers, the integers, and the even integers all have the same number of elements. Cantor denoted the number of natural numbers by the transfinite number, aleph naught, or aleph null. For ease of notation, we'll call this number D. So they're saying as long as a set of rational numbers is denumerable, it is denumerable as long as it has the cardinal number D, or aleph naught, apparently.
Okay.
I clicked on this because it looked not very confusing, but I'm very confused.
Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of abstract mathematics. It's very
Law of quadratic reciprocity.
What?
Gauss? Quadratic reciprocity.
No.
Reciprocals. Quadratic reciprocity. If P and Q are both distinct odd primes, then the quadratic reciprocity theorem states that the congruences are both solvable or both unsolvable unless both P and Q leave the remainder 3 when divided by 4. That's interesting. In which case, one of the congruences is solvable and the other is not. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry, there's 100 of these, so I've just been kind of clicking through them, the ones that have links at least.
No, I don't blame you. I was looking at a picture of the cubic formula, which is like the quadratic formula. It solves any cubic, but it's way more complicated. I'm not even. What the heck? I'll try and read it. And basically, it follows x equals the cube root of negative b cubed over 27a cubed plus b times c over 6a squared minus d over 2a, and that's just some of the simple stuff in there. You get some
Very nice.
Get some nested cubic roots, and that's nowhere near as complicated as the quartic formula. You don't want to see that.
Apparently, the oldest one that they have on this list is a sum of an arithmetic series, 1700 BC by the Babylonians. It's just cited as Babylonians.
Yeah, they don't get a lot of credit.
Every single person.
Unless it's Hammurabi, you don't really know.
Hey, the law of large numbers. That was in the chapter for stats.
Oh, yeah.
And also the very wrong law of small numbers, which doesn't exist. The number of subsets of a set. Nobody knows who did it or when, but it exists.
Great.
Very nice. The Cayley-Hamilton theorem by Cayley. Where's Hamilton? What? He got cut out of his own theorem.
Hey, at least he got credit.
I guess, in the name. Everybody's going to know who's Hamilton. Famous theorems of mathematics. Oh no, more theorems. I just want to click them all.
Yeah, Alexander Hamilton must have really gotten around.
I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna save us from this math rabbit hole that we've kind of fallen into.
Yeah, we gotta get out. We gotta get out. I'm closing the tab. Okay, we're out.
Okay, so to get a little higher dimensional, have you seen a 3D printer in life?
Yeah, of course.
Not of course. I've only seen one once.
Oh, well, there was one at Rochester Institute of Technology. There was a few of them, actually. And then there was another one. My friend got one. And then one of my other rich friends has one as well. So I've seen a lot of them working both through videos and also in person.
Your friend has a 3D printer?
Yeah. There's some pretty affordable ones.
Oh. I thought they were like thousands of dollars.
Nah, I think there's one that's like a few hundred.
Oh, okay.
Which one does he have? He has the... Damn, I have to find it now.
Does he get a lot of use out of it?
Yeah, he made a lot of stuff for his desk. Okay. 3D printers. This is what I wanted. Not a pen. I don't want a pen.
Oh yeah, I see one that's $199.
Yeah. He has a pretty nice one. It's not like that cheap, but it is. It's up there. I think he's got the... He might have the... No. I don't know. I don't know which one he has. I could ask him, but I don't really feel like asking him right now,
Yeah.
obviously.
Has he tried to make a gun yet?
No. He hasn't tried to make a gun because he's not an insane person. But he has made, oh, what did he make? Oh, I forgot what he made. He made something really cool. I was trying to remember. Oh, yeah, he made a headset stand for his desk that looks like a head, like a human head.
Oh, okay.
It's made out of a whole bunch of different colored plastics. Which is, pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's fun to think that you have something that you need, and if you have a 3D printer and enough filament, you can just kind of make it. Find it online or make the what's it called? I forgot what those are called. The plans yourself.
Yeah, I used to be super into the Lego.com digital designer thing, and I would always make my own Legos, but I never got up the nerve to buy one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would ever buy one.
Yeah, they're always too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I guess those pens are kind of cool, but they're really not doing as much as a full-size printer would, and I don't think I'd enjoy it as much.
Or just an Xbox.
Oh, just an Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah, for that money.
For that same money, I'll just buy 2 Xboxes.
Yeah, you can have the Xbox One X.
The Xbox One X and the Xbox One S, and also the other Xbox One that's not the Xbox One X or S.
The X1 double X.
The Xbox One XXX. It's like, whoa, hey, slow down there, Microsoft.
Yeah, getting a little X heavy. They never use the Z's.
The Z-Box. The Z-Box Juan. That's the knockoff.
Yeah, you always see that in the cartoons.
Yeah. Get off your game box, cube, sphere.
Alright, so I'm going to ask you something that I don't expect you to be able to answer. So,
okay.
So what is in the uninhabited part of space? Like the dark part.
What is there?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, what do you mean, nothing?
A vacuum and some stars? I don't think there's much there, really. I mean, what do you expect me to answer? You expect me to say that there's aliens in the uninhabited part of space? Because that doesn't make any sense.
Well, no. I mostly expected you to say, I don't know, and then for me to say, I don't know either, because it can't be a vacuum.
I'm just saying it's just space. I mean, there could be... I mean, yeah, there's probably some dark matter. There's a vacuum. It's all a vacuum. It's probably pretty cold. Didn't we decide that it was like 4 Kelvin?
Yeah, something like that.
How cold is space? 2.7 Kelvin.
Oh, even worse.
I know. Negative 454 degrees Fahrenheit. A little chilly. I should probably still wear shorts though.
Yeah, people are complaining about single digits.
Talk about negative triple digits.
Yeah. Did you manage to still wear shorts all through that?
No. I ended up wearing some sweatpants because
Oh.
it was snowing and I had to go outside. My mother was like, "Don't you dare leave the house in shorts." I was like, "Fine." But you'll know that I'm probably not even gonna wear shorts to school tomorrow either because I'm gonna wear pants for the regionals.
Yeah, those are going to be excited. For those of you that don't know, Andrew and I are two of the upper people on the
Upper people.
two of the 5-person team.
Tossing shade on Jorian, are we?
Yeah, poor Jorian.
Poor Jorian, he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, for our school's academic team. For those of you that don't know, maybe you never saw an academic team before, like my dad hadn't. Basically, an academic team is just a bunch of students who like learning trivia and a bunch of other random facts, and they might just happen to know them, but they like going to competitions where they get to test their knowledge against a bunch of other kids from schools, and there's usually a bunch of facilitated competitions. You have regional competitions, usually between school districts. You've got, well, districts, which are actually much closer to that, so I guess regionals would just be schools that are close to you. Then you have conferences, which are just schools that are near your skill level, so you're not getting beaten up by a school like Maggie Walker, and and then there's a bunch of TV competitions and much larger ones.
We get to go on the local television station and they tape us and then they air it like 5 months later.
Yeah, literally, we taped our first one in October, and it still hasn't come on.
It's airing on the 20th of January for anyone that's listening and wants to tune in on Channel 6 in Virginia.
Yeah.
That's about all I can say.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And maybe next year
it'll be on YouTube eventually.
Yeah.
It'll be on YouTube eventually. So you guys could look it up, Battle of the Brains, all caps. Or is it the Battle of the Brains? I always forget.
No clue. I don't know. Try both. Only one of them's going to look super janky. And that one's the one you want.
Nice. Battle of the Brains, all caps, YouTube. Battle of the Brains, YouTube. It's uploaded by the Battle of the Brains, but there we go. I found it. I got it up. 129 subscribers. Wow, they're really blowing up.
Yeah, that's pretty
Deep
bad.
Run versus Isle of Wight.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you guys to show them any love. I don't really think we should be supporting a bunch of cable news stations trying to get into millennial media. But
yeah. But if you are interested in seeing what Academic Team is and what it's all about, you can feel free to check out the Battle of the Brains YouTube channel, and they have a few things from this year and then years past as well. So if you feel like watching a bunch of trivia questions like Jeopardy for less educated people, then go ahead.
Yeah.
I feel like Ryan and I, if there's Team Jeopardy, we could probably dominate some Team Jeopardy, Ryan.
Like actual Jeopardy?
Yeah, like actual Jeopardy, like you and I going on to Jeopardy as like as a duo.
I don't think so. Those Jeopardy questions are pretty obscure.
I mean, some of them are pretty easy. A lot of them are pretty easy. Some of the high value questions aren't necessarily that easy, but I could tell you that they're easier than the first 2 sentences of any Academic Team question I've gotten.
I know, but what would happen if they started breaking out a bunch of literature?
Oh no. I just Jack London. John Steinbeck, Call of the Wild. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been listening to a lot of Joe Rogan's podcast lately, really way too much, but so be it. And he was talking about how apparently Harvard classifies phones as... Oh, wait, no. This wasn't from Joe Rogan's podcast. This was my science teacher. Sorry, Mrs. Johnson, for comparing you to a bit of a pothead. Yeah. Okay, so apparently she was talking about how Harvard now classifies phones as an addiction.
Interesting. Yeah, wait, I did hear that, actually. Yeah, I did see something like that. It was probably on Reddit.
What do you think about that?
I could say that I know people that if it were to be classified as an addiction, I could say that they're addicted, but I myself am not necessarily addicted. Like, I could leave my phone at home and probably be fine. I think that the addiction is not necessarily having your phone for like calling or important things. It's for the social media and the entertainment aspect, and that you never want to be bored. And you know that if you do get bored, oh, I've got this computer in my pocket that I can watch Netflix on and watch, whatever I want. But if I were to just downgrade to a flip phone, I could leave my phone. I wouldn't be addicted to my phone. I just keep my flip phone in my pocket, and if somebody calls, I'll call them back.
Yeah, it's definitely a dopamine addiction.
Yeah, phone addiction is real, and so are its mental health risks. Thank you, Forbes.com.
Do you think we should take dopamine addiction seriously?
I mean, I don't think we should take it as seriously as other addictions necessarily, because it does cause mental health issues, but it's not necessarily as dangerous as any drug addiction or substance abuse at all.
Well, do you think it causes any mental health issues, or is it
Yeah, it
just all in
definitely
the
causes
person's head?
mental health issues, but I don't think it causes. It says impaired self-esteem, impaired work performance, and interpersonal conflicts. Signs and symptoms of smartphone addiction include tolerance, withdrawal, failed attempts to cut back on smartphone use, loses track of time while using mobile phone, uses cell phone in order to deal with unwanted emotions, text neck, or digital eye strain. I don't know what text neck is.
Yeah, that sounds.
I guess it's like you are texting for so long and looking down for so long that you get a stiff neck.
It sounds like a chiropractor's nightmare.
Yeah, it's like, what is this massive bulge in your neck? Oh yeah, I've been texting for at least 3 days straight. I don't even know what's today.
3 days straight.
I can't admit that I have talked to people texting, like when I'm just sitting on the couch or laying in my bed for hours at a time. But I could. That's just because I'm interested in the conversation. I don't want to be rude and say, hey, I'm going to get off my phone now because I think I'm getting addicted.
Yeah, at that point, you just need to make a podcast.
Yep.
I don't know if I agree with you about dopamine addictions. I think they're all kind of silly.
I think that yes, not all of them cause mental health issues, but phone addiction does cause some mental health issues. But like I said, they're definitely not dangerous.
Well, I don't know if I agree with
it would
any.
be different if the mental health issues were, oh yeah, psychosis. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, worst thing you get is text neck. You might be all right.
Yeah, but it seems like all those things that the Harvard study mentioned, they're not exclusive to phones, and they're not really intrinsic to them.
They aren't exclusive to phones, not necessarily.
Like, it seems like it's just more a symptom of being socially involved or
socially inept.
Yeah, socially inept. So I don't know. I try and take the CGP Grey approach of don't be an idiot. It's just dopamine.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you think science will ever solve aging?
I don't think so. I wish that they could, but I don't see it at all in the near future, let alone probably in my lifetime or even my children's lifetime. I don't think it's going to happen.
Why not?
I just don't think we're there yet in terms of our science. They were talking about what were they talking about? There was just a huge breakthrough in biology and I completely forgot.
Seems like they have them every day now.
Recent advances in biology. What was it? That's not what I want. This isn't what I want. It was something. I don't know. I completely forgot. If I find it, I'll tell you. But
okay. Well, basically, in the current accepted theory for how aging works, by scientists is aging is essentially caused, and like the side effects of aging are caused by the shortening of telomeres. So for anyone who doesn't remember their ninth grade biology class, telomeres are basically the little spindles that are used to gosh, I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but just the little spindles that are stretched across the entire cell and not hold it together, but crap, I really don't remember. Let me look up a meiosis, my little meiosis stages diagram.
they're the caps. They're like the aglets of the DNA. They're the ends of each strand.
Oh, okay. And basically during meiosis, I believe they are chopped off. So obviously you don't have a perfect laser, and even if you do, you're still going to be incinerating a couple particles to get that done. So every time you're performing that meiosis, which is I don't even know how often that cells reproduce, but it's going to be millions of times. You're shortening the telomeres every time, and you're not getting new telomeres for some reason. And basically, telomeres are just junk DNA that the thing doesn't really need. But
Yeah, it says that the immune system is what is affected most by the shortening of telomeres, because that's not your actual age, that's your biological age, like how hard your body has to work to get things done, and just the efficiency in general of your body. And so if your telomeres start to shorten or to deteriorate, then your body is going to have a hard time no matter what your age is.
yeah, because basically the problem is once you run out of junk DNA to start chopping off, you have to start chopping off actual DNA,
Yes.
and that's not ideal for your
That's
body.
definitely not ideal.
Yeah, and the whole thing with aging is some people have more telomeres than the other guy, and they last longer. Plenty of biological stressors can cause telomeres to shrink and grow. And basically, the question is, can we get to a point in science where meiosis is occurring at a stage where telomeres do not need to be chopped apart, or telomeres are regrown?
Jesus, I'm sorry. The regrowth of telomeres would be a really cool find.
Yeah.
Apparently, in 2009, the Nobel Prize for Physiology/Medicine was awarded to 3 scientists who discovered how an enzyme called telomerase impacts telomere length.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, they were discovered in the 1930s. Scientists made the link between telomeres and cellular aging nearly 30 years ago. A 2010 study from Harvard Medical School showed telomere shortening to be a root cause of cellular aging. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that is really interesting. Do you think that they're going to solve aging and figure out how to either regrow or lengthen the telomeres?
I don't know if they're going to be able to solve it, but I know the day that they do is the day we stop being alive.
Yeah, the day that they do is the day that we stop caring about things, because, everybody's afraid of death, no matter who wants to say it or not. Everybody's afraid of death, at least a little bit. And if you can just know that you're technically not immortal, obviously, because you're still human and you're still going to die if something, kills you, but you won't die of old age, is insane.
Yeah, that'd be weird to
See. My question for that is, I don't even know how that would work. Is that a medicine that someone would take, or is that a treatment that someone would undergo?
I've got to think it would be like an in vitro thing.
And also, if someone's already old and they do that, are they going to feel young again? Are they going to feel energetic and like they did when they were in their prime, or are they going to stay as they are?
The isn't there a thing in science that says that you can't change someone's genetics once they are already conceived?
Probably. That sounds like something that would be in science.
Yeah, so if that's the case, I would have to think it would just have to be something that, like, you change someone, like you do like you switch from, I don't know what they call it right now, but you switch from having, man on woman and they get it on and you get a baby, to something where like everyone is being born by in vitro fertilization and you're using, genetically engineered sperm.
Like in Brave New World.
By
Brave
Huxley?
New World? Yeah, Huxley.
Yeah, I actually read the synopsis on that one.
All the babies are born through in vitro fertilization, and they're all born in like these packs, and they become fertilized, and then it's like a litter almost, where there's like 20 of them, and then they all get, it's a caste system after that, and so
yeah, and then like one in vitro baby is switched with one.
Basically, they only need like one fertilization sample, and they can make like 20 children from it, and so they have like birthing figured out to where women don't have to bear children anymore.
Yeah, it seems like that's the only way they could do it. But it seems like that's the next step in really taking biology out of humans' hand. Not biology, child
I was
raising.
like,
Yeah, just child raising out of humans' hands. It's trying to figure out how to. We already have the male form done. I think we know how to create sperm, and if we don't, we have plenty of sperm banks. But just trying to figure out how to find create like our own uterus that can raise a baby. And if not a
yeah.
uterus, then like I don't know, using like a cow's uterus or something.
I'm not sure that that's going to happen, but yeah, I know what you're saying. If we can somehow get both sides to be not autonomous, but not human, then we could probably, and we can successfully make regular humans, then that would be a good idea.
Yeah,
Or
we don't want another Dolly the lamb.
yeah, no, please don't.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on Chernobyl and also nuclear energy in general?
That's a good question. Joe was talking about that in one of his. I'm not going to say recent because I've listened to like 15 of them. I don't have a clue when he talked about what, but
A podcast.
yeah, one of them. It was definitely in between 120 and 150. Probably. I don't know. But
Maybe.
yeah, so he was talking about the whole thing with the whole fad around like the giant Russian wolves that were supposedly showing up in Chernobyl that were into like a giant hoax.
Yeah, it's like the Hound of Baskervilles. They're like, I don't think this is real.
Yeah, and like he released them around the time of the Fukushima disaster, so it was kind of topical then. But what do I think of them? We should we That's a good question. So like, should we be using nuclear energy?
I mean, it's illogical for us to do that because we would need a power plant, a nuclear power plant, in almost every single city, and people don't want these giant cooling towers in the middle of their cities.
Well, would we? I doesn't
Yeah, we would to
doesn't nuclear
sustain it.
energy already produce like 20% of the world's power at its current?
Not all of, not 20%. I was just reading something about it, but I forgot where it was.
Well, certainly not like Africa's or something that they're still very much on burning wood to get their energy. But I've got to think it's something. Okay, 11% of the world's electricity production, and that's from only 449 nuclear reactors, according to the Nuclear Energy Institute. So you got
also, it also creates a lot of nuclear fuel, which comes out to a lot of nuclear waste. Which means that if you consider each nuclear plant on Earth, you will find that the number jumps to approximately 2,000 metric tons of nuclear waste per year. That's with the current amount of nuclear reactors. Now imagine, let's just say 10 times that amount to hit 110% capacity for our energy, if that's how we're going to scale it, just to make things simple.
Yeah.
Then you're talking 20,000 tons of nuclear waste every single year. And it's radioactive and it's very hot. And it will consume any compartment that holds it. It will also cause damage to living things in and around the plants. Nuclear power plants create a low-level radioactive waste as transmitted parts and supplies over time. Use nuclear fuel decays into safe radioactive levels. However, this takes countless number of years. What is the half-life of? Do they use uranium or plutonium? I think they use plutonium. Yeah.
I think they used uranium-238 and then like some other plutonium, but I can just look up the half-life of uranium-238.
I got it.
Okay.
4.5 billion years.
Oh, Jesus. That's pretty bad.
I was looking at something. There's a guy named Sam O'Nella, and he has a YouTube channel called Sam O'Nella Academy.
Yeah.
And he has these pretty wacky videos about just random things. So, like, weird laws from around the world, how the chicken got domesticated, why it sucked to be a pirate, stuff like that. But they're really good videos. They're really funny if you want to watch them. They're pretty short. What is it? Where is it? Thorium rocks. He was explaining the advantages of switching our nuclear power to a thorium.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
A thorium-based system because thorium produces less waste. And it's just overall, it's a really, really good idea. And I don't know why we haven't switched to that, because thorium is more abundant on our planet than uranium is,
Well,
or plutonium.
apparently the Nixon era thorium reactors never got off the ground, and they weren't really sustainable enough to be using.
I feel like with our current technology, we could definitely do it though.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure we can, but who's going to want to do that?
I mean, if people are really interested in nuclear energy, this is a cheaper and more efficient avenue.
Yeah, but it's not cheaper for the companies already involved.
That's true. But I mean, you could just start building the reactors with thorium and then just keep all the existing ones as they are.
Yeah.
Uranium is going to eventually run out, so they're not going to be able to use it.
Well, is it going to run out? Nah.
It's finite.
Well, I mean, yes, it's finite, but they've been saying oil's going to run out for the past 50 years, and it's still going pretty strong.
Well, oil will run out, but not anytime soon. But uranium will run out first because it is much less. It appears much less than oil does. It's very expensive to mine and refine and then transport all that. And all of these activities, mining, refining, and transporting, cause more waste. And it's just,
I read
nuclear energy can be used to make weapons, but if it was thorium based, you can't. It's impossible to have a nuclear meltdown with a thorium based reactor.
Yeah, I read
And
somewhere
so
that China
would
was
be
heavily investing in
advantageous.
them.
Say what?
I read somewhere that China was heavily investing in those salt-based ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
wonder
wonder
how
if that works
that's
out for
going.
them. I saw something where it was like Google finally got it so that all of Google is powered by either hydroelectric power or just renewable energy in general. I think just renewable energy in general. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, they're doing some stuff.
Is that all of their server banks as well?
I don't know. Hold on.
Because I doubt it. That seems a lot more.
Google powered by Android. No. 100% renewable. Google. I'm thrilled to announce that in 2017, Google will reach 100% renewable energy for our global operations, including both our data centers and offices. Yep. So they use these gigawatts. I guess these are gigawatts. Approximately 200-ish gigawatts of solar power and like 2,000 gigawatts of wind power.
Oh, wow.
They must have a giant wind. Oh, wait, don't they have that giant wind farm in the mountains? Like near LA? I'm pretty sure there's like a giant. Hold on.
I would think they would have to have them in the Sierra Nevadas, but.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Apparently, China just opened up a couple of salt thorium reactors. Back
So
in
December
August.
1st, it says Google by 536 megawatts of wind power, making it the biggest corporate purchaser of renewable energy, according to a statement. The Alphabet subsidiary will purchase wind energy from 4 different power plants, 2 in South Dakota, 1 in Iowa, and 1 in Oklahoma. That's pretty crazy.
Okay. Yeah, so just based on my research, it seems like the main reason we didn't want to go into thorium was because the nuclear byproducts that we were going to need during the Cold War could be produced by these nuclear power plants, and none were obviously going to be produced during a thorium reaction.
Yeah, well, now we don't need those.
Well,
so
according
it's
to
a little
you.
late. I mean, yeah, according to me, I mean, I don't know what we need, but I don't think we need those.
Wait, hang on a second. When bombarded, this is how a molten salt reactor works apparently. So when bombarded by neutrons, thorium becomes radioactive uranium-233.
Yeah.
So it's still producing a radioactive byproduct.
It does, but it produces much, much less.
Okay, but it's still producing it. I get that it's better, but this isn't completely clean.
Here, hold on.
I don't know, but it seems pretty clear that we should use this, even if we have to invest something like $1 billion into getting the startup to work. Seems like China has realized that, and there's a good reason why China is doing so well economically. It's because they're not trying to take over the world militarily right now. It's a big mistake the U.S. is making.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at this, and apparently the biggest transport ships can carry 21,000 kilograms. So, do you think it'd be a good idea for us to just take all the nuclear waste that we're producing in a year and just send it up into space, and then just blow up the ship?
I mean, if it goes out far enough, I don't see why not. We already have enough space junk. That's something I've always wondered about because nobody ever talks about it, but there's a lot of space junk.
Yeah, there's a ridiculous amount.
I mean, you can, I mean, obviously you can't see it and probably couldn't even really see it with a telescope, but there's a lot of just space junk orbiting because, I mean, these stages of these shuttles just detach and most of them don't fall back down because
Yeah, they're too high up.
They're too high up, so they just fall back down into orbit, but they never come back down all the way through the stratosphere and into the Earth. But
yeah, isn't there a real concern right now that we're gonna lock ourselves in because we're just not gonna be able to get off the planet?
yeah.
I wonder why that doesn't cause bigger problems for the sun heating up the planet. But yeah, my idea for the Airbus is transporting all of the tonnage of uranium-235 is not a good idea. The highest carrying one right now can only carry 21 metric tons, and I think.
Did you Sorry, go ahead.
And the one that you were mentioning, you were saying that the world produces thousands of metric tons.
Yeah.
So that's not going to work.
2,000 metric tons of nuclear
Okay,
waste
yeah.
per year
So that's only like
for the
100th.
current amount of reactors, let alone if we were to make more.
Yeah, so that's not going to work.
Or at least uranium based. We haven't talked about, the salt based or the thorium based. We probably make a little bit less with those.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't think we're gonna have a mass amount of those anytime soon, though, because I don't think that's where people are focusing. I think they're more focused on solar, and everybody's trying to make more efficient solar cells.
Yeah.
And when I was at Rochester, there was a solar power and renewable energy seminar that I went to, and the professor was talking about these different materials that they were using. And one of the materials was what do you say, like $600 per square centimeter.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's like 65% efficient, and that's like the best they've gotten.
65.
Yeah. Ooh. And it's insanely expensive.
Yeah. The big problem, I think, I don't know if they mentioned this at the seminar, but my impression is the big problem right now is we just haven't had enough advancements in batteries at the moment.
That's true.
And that's what's holding us back. Because if you look at it, we're still using the same overall battery design that I believe Lavoisier perfected 200 years ago. No, almost 300 years ago at this point. Was it even Lavoisier?
What are you talking about? I'm sorry.
The original battery design, and we're still using the same type of battery that I'm maybe erroneously attributing to Lavoisier.
Apparently, Volta invented the first true battery.
Crap.
Which came to be known as the voltaic pile. The voltaic pile consisted of pairs of copper and zinc discs piled on top of each other, separated by a layer of cloth or cardboard soaked in brine, or the electrolyte.
Okay, so it seems like.
But now most of our batteries are lithium ion. Like 90% of our batteries are lithium ion.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still the same idea.
So, for the first time, scientists have produced a photovoltaic cell with conversion efficiency of 40.7%, and that's apparently like the highest that was seen whenever this was written. So 40%, and that is that's the Department of Energy working on that. That's not just some guy in a lab. That's very serious. That's probably much higher than everybody else had said.
Yeah. What do they really plan on doing with it if they can even get it to work? And aren't the fossil fuel companies going to be too big of a threat?
I assume that they're gonna find a way around them. I don't know how. I wanted to move into astronomy for a second, if you'd like, because we were
Yeah,
just
yeah,
talking
sure.
about space. Did you hear about the star that went supernova twice?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So the star IPTF 14HLS appears to have gone supernova twice in the last 60 years. So the supernova breaks everything we thought we knew about how they work. The study's lead author, Ayer Arkavi, sorry if I butchered that, a NASA Einstein postdoctoral fellow at the University of California, Santa Barbara.
Oh, so not
So
not only that, it's been going supernova for the last 3 years.
yeah, the undying star named blah 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 was first discovered in September 2014 by the Palomar Transient Factory, a fully automated wide-field survey designed to spot cosmic objects that vary in brightness over time, such as variable stars, transient objects, and of course supernovae. Over the course of 2 years, this star has grown and dropped in brightness at least 5 times. Most supernovae remain bright for around 100 days before fading for good. When the international team of astronomers first spotted the explosion, a spectral analysis indicated that it was just a run-of-the-mill Type 2P supernova, whose brightness would likely fade after about 100 days.
Hmm.
So it's exploded in 2014. It mysteriously started to grow brighter again. Over the course of 3 years, it fluctuated between bright and dim at least 5 separate times. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting because that completely just breaks astronomy.
Or at
Because
least
they're
our
like,
current hypothesis of how supernovas work.
yeah, I think that somebody just, I mean, it's funny how we didn't know that this was possible until 4 years ago. We had no clue,
Yeah.
and it's crazy.
Do you have any hypothesis
On
on why this is happening?
I don't know why it would happen because I mean everybody's always been taught that once a star goes supernova, it's done. It's not going to reform into a star again. But apparently this one has other plans, and I don't know if it's based upon the gases that are in the star or because we can't really we can't see what gases. I mean, it might be a new gaseous element that we just don't understand that can go through supernova multiple times. But then at that rate, why would we have not seen other stars have done this? And why is it specifically there and not any of the surrounding stars? I mean, it's a lot of questions you can what if about all day. But I found it really interesting, and I didn't know if you'd heard about it at all.
No, I haven't. It might the only way I could see this working within the current theory for how supernovas work is if it was in like a crazy dense nebula. But if it's burning for 3 years, I would have to think that the nebula would have to be so dense that this would be a black hole already. But I'm just not seeing where all this energy could be coming from.
So apparently, it says, according to this theory, it's possible that this was the result of a star so massive and hot that it generated antimatter in its core. This
Yeah,
would cause the star to go violently unstable and undergo repeated bright eruptions over periods of years. The authors of the study calculated that before the first explosion, the star was at least 50 times as massive as the sun and likely much larger.
well, is it really a question of energy when you're creating antimatter? I thought it was just like a completely different process. It wasn't just you have to get enough energy in one place.
I don't know. That's just what they said. It doesn't even cite what that's from. It just says a group of people. So I don't know. I didn't know there were different types of supernova, but now I'm curious. Oh, interesting. So here we go. Type 1, silicon? Yes or no? If it's type 1 and you say yes to silicon, it's a type 1A. If you say no, if there's helium involved, if it's not involved, it's a type 1C. If it is involved, it's a type 1B. If let's see. Is there a hydrogen spectrum? Yes or no? That would make it type 1 or type 2. And then it would transition from type 2 to type 2B to type 1B. And then type 2P is based on the light curve, apparently. So that's what they're saying it was.
Do you think it could be a white hole?
A white hole.
Yeah,
As in it's so bright.
No, like the opposite of a black hole, where instead of being so dense that it's absorbing, it's creating essentially a pressure differential where everything around it is being absorbed by it. It's the opposite, where everything is being expelled from it.
Yeah, but what would cause that? I mean, that can't be another. It can't be so not dense. I mean, I don't know how to even say that. It can't be because it is so massive. I mean, there's no way that it's not dense enough, as dense as any of those other things.
Well, I don't know how it would work within the density thing, but it seems like it would make sense. It's something that just seems to be spewing out energy for 3 years straight. That doesn't make any sense within anything we've currently accepted. White holes seem to kind of fit with that, and yeah, I don't know. This is pretty weird.
I feel like it could be a white hole, but why would a white hole go supernova?
Well, maybe it wasn't a supernova. The only way that we track supernovas is just looking for large bursts of gamma ray radiation and changes in brightness.
That's true. So I don't know. Maybe it is.
I don't know.
Maybe we
That's just my
stumbled
guess.
upon something, right?
Probably not. It's probably just a bunch of craziness. But hey, if Einstein
It is
can
very
predict it,
interesting to talk about, though.
yeah, astronomy is very interesting.
Oh, this guy is written about this. Let's see. Perhaps it's a Thorne-Zitkow object, but by past collision centered in a low metallicity, huge young star's hydrogen envelope. We are then seeing collapse-expand oscillations. If so, I eagerly anticipate it reaching the Tolman-Oppenheimer-Volkov limit. Neutrino time. Pow.
This guy's pretty full of himself.
His name's Uncle Al.
Uncle Al needs to.
He's an organic chemist, autodidact, polymath, eschew the. I can't even read his bio.
Okay, well, Uncle Al needs to realize that being smart has less to do with just being confusing to other people than making other people understand things.
I mean, the Volkov limit.
No, I don't even know that.
Okay, well, the Volkov limit, the Oppenheimer-Volkov limit, I thought it was just. Why is there a third name now? I'm confused. I thought it was just called the Oppenheimer-Volkov limit, but now it's called the Tolman-Oppenheimer-Volkov limit.
Oh, Andy got first name.
Or the Landau-Oppenheimer-Volkov limit.
Wait, so they're not even sure who to give it to?
The TOV limit or the LOV limit.
Oh
Tolman and Landau, I guess, they were competing, and they just decided that it was a tie. And it's an upper bound to the mass of stars composed of neutron-degenerate matter, i.e. neutron stars. The TOV limit is analogous to the Chandrasekhar limit, that's probably right, for white dwarf stars. It's approximately 1.5 to 3 solar masses, corresponding to an original stellar mass of 15 to 20 solar masses. The first gravitational wave event due to merging neutron stars suggests that the limit is no greater than 2.17 solar masses. And there's a lot of math.
Okay, well, it seems like it would be a density question then, so you could just take a look at the supernova and say, okay, is it dense enough to be a neutron star? If it is, then you're good. If it's not, then yeah.
I feel like we would have known whether or not it was a neutron star, though, because we have been observing this since 1954, it seems.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really easy to identify a neutron star just because they spin so fast that I think we would be able to identify it just by looking at it or gauging the surroundings. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how one would go about identifying a neutron star.
Yeah, how close are they in density to a black hole? Is it? I know it's in between a supernova and a black hole, but is it like super close to a black hole, or is it not that close?
They're very, very dense. I think that they're pretty close to black holes. Hold on. So I really was curious on how you detect neutron stars. Detecting neutron stars requires instruments that are different than those used to detect normal stars, and they eluded astronomers for many years because of their peculiar characteristics. Apparently, a neutron star is technically no longer a star at all.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is the phase that some stars reach at the end of their existence. Yeah, so basically, a star can either become a neutron star or go supernova.
Oh.
At the end of its lifetime.
Oh, I thought a neutron star was a product of a supernova.
A normal star burns through its hydrogen fuel over the course of its life until the hydrogen is burned up and the forces of gravity cause the star to contract, forcing it inward until the helium gases go through the same nuclear fusion that the hydrogen did, and the star erupts into a red giant, a last flare before the final collapse. If the star is large, it will create a supernova of expanding material, burning up all of its reserves in one spectacular finale. Smaller stars are broken apart into dust clouds, but if the star is large enough that its gravity will force all of its remaining material together under enormous pressure. Too much gravitational force and the star implodes, becoming a black hole, but with the right amount of gravity, the star's remains will fuse together and instead form a shell of incredibly dense neutrons. These neutron stars rarely give out any light and are only okay, well, I guess it's not a neutron star then.
Okay, so here's my
Rarely give out any light.
So here's my question about that then. So if a neutron star is formed by a star not having enough gravity to form a supernova, that's correct, right?
Not having enough gravity to form a black hole.
So, okay, so let's say we have a star that's reaching the end of its life cycle. It burns through all of its hydrogen. So if you have low gravity, does that mean you go to a supernova? Or is low gravity the neutron star?
Low gravity would be dust clouds. They would just break apart the smaller stars.
Okay.
If it's a big star, and there's not a lot of gravity, like not too much, not too little, just an average amount of gravity, it becomes a red giant, and then the final collapse, I assume, is a supernova, because a large star would turn into a red giant, and then it would create a supernova of expanding material. And then after the supernova, that goes back to the nebula stage, and then it goes back to making another star. Too much gravitational force, the star implodes, becoming a black hole. Okay. And if it's correct, if there's the right amount of gravity, then it becomes a neutron star, and then they don't give out many light, and they're very much light, and they're very small.
Yeah, so that's my question. Is the right amount of gravity, is that in between the stuff that can make it a red giant and a black hole?
It sounds like it goes, less gravity is dust clouds, supernova, more gravity is black hole, and in between them is neutron star.
Okay, that's the impression I was getting, but I wasn't sure if that was correct. Okay.
That's what I'm getting as well, but we could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about pretty advanced astrophysics.
Neutron stars have two primary characteristics that scientists can detect. This is what I wanted to read. I just got so caught up in the first paragraph. The first is a neutron star's intense gravitational force. Okay. They can sometimes be detected by how their gravity affects more visible objects around them. Hey, that's what I was saying. Their environment. By carefully plotting out the interactions of gravity between objects in space, astronomers can pinpoint the place where a neutron star or similar phenomenon is located.
Oh, so we can't even see them. Okay.
The second is a detection of pulsars. Pulsars are neutron stars that spin, usually very fast, as a result of gravitational pressure that created them. Their enormous gravity and fast rotation cause them to stream out electromagnetic energy from both their magnetic poles. These poles spin along with the neutron star, and if they're facing Earth, they can be picked up as radio waves. The effect is that of extremely rapid radio wave pulses as two poles turn one after the other and face Earth while the neutron star spins.
Is it pulsars or just quasars that no longer exist, and and all that we're seeing is just the light from billions of years ago? Because I know quasars are from like the very early stages, and none of them are around anymore. But I don't know about pulsars.
No, it seems like pulsars are completely different.
Oh.
It's saying that pulsars are just the little tendrils on the magnetic poles of a neutron star as it spins.
Oh, okay.
And that's how we detect neutron stars. So we detect the neutron stars either through their interaction with their environment gravitationally or through the pulsars that they create. So we can know if we're getting these signals, these rapid signals of, I don't know, it's like 70 hertz or something like that. It's like, hold on, how fast does a neutron star spin in hertz? 716 revolutions per second. Yeah. So
that's pretty fast for something that big.
I thought it was much slower than that.
Wow. Yeah, and if you guys don't have any perspective on that, just look up like 1,000 RPM, and then imagine that 60 times as fast.
Apparently, VFTS 102 is a star 160,000 light years from Earth that is around 25 times the mass of the sun, 100,000 times brighter, and moves at 1 million miles per hour.
Wow.
Imagine that. I mean, doesn't the ISS go like, what is it, like 8,000 miles or 80,000?
I thought it was like 11,000, but yeah, nothing in comparison to that.
4.76 miles per second.
Great. That's not helpful.
Now I got it. Okay, and then 17,136 miles per hour.
All right, so a little more.
Oh wait, no. Yeah. I was about to say, wait, was I supposed to be dividing? No, I was supposed to be multiplying. I'm good. I was like, why would I divide by 60 if we're already at seconds?
Yeah. No, you got it.
17,136 miles per hour. So that's fast. But imagine 1 million miles per hour. That's just unfathomable. I don't think we can even.
No, we don't have any point of reference.
Yeah, we don't have the fastest thing we know are the things that we have traveling in space, our satellites.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it seems like a quasar's like a collapsing galaxy, maybe?
I don't know.
I can't really tell quasars. Luckily, they don't exist anymore.
I took sea-level astronomy, and I was rarely paying attention, but I am very interested in astronomy.
Yeah, it seems like you know
because I wanted to go into aerospace, but I decided against it. I chose computer science instead.
Do you know what why we call black holes black bodies? Like, what are the other black bodies that we really need to be worrying about?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, with the academic team, we always have questions about black holes for some reason, and every time they come up, the answer is black body and not black hole. And black hole's wrong. So, like,
Let's see. Hold on. A black body. So a black hole is just an example of a black body. So a black body absorbs all light and radiation in its reach.
Yeah.
According to the basic laws of physics, the more energy a body absorbs, the more it can emit. Therefore, a black body absorbs all energy directed at it and also emits all energy that's been absorbed. A black hole is known to absorb all sorts of every light or radiation. If it absorbs all energy around it, it should, in addition, emit all energy it has absorbed. But due to its vast gravity, nothing can escape, and therefore nothing is actually emitted. Is a black hole still considered a perfect black body? Yes or no? Yes, black holes are supposedly near-perfect black bodies. They emit thermal radiation called Hawking radiation, which, however, does not originate from beyond the event horizon, but is a consequence of the interaction of the strong gravitational field outside the horizon with the vacuum. So, yes, they are different, but a black hole is basically... So a black body is the ideal working, and the black hole is just our example, which is a near-perfect.
Okay. That makes sense.
So think of this as a scale of from like opaque to translucent or transparent.
Yeah, I'm seeing this like a gray
ball. Black bodies are transparent, and black holes are like opaque or translucent, like semi-translucent.
So is that where a white hole comes from? A white body?
I don't even know if white bodies exist.
Yeah, they do. On the Wikipedia page I'm looking at, a white body is one with a rough surface that reflects all incident rays completely and uniformly in all directions.
List of astronomical bodies. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's going to be a long list. Just based on that,
It's a list of lists.
Yeah, but based on that, I'm not really... Okay, I guess it's just the way I think about it. I guess absorbs is the antonym of reflects, but usually when someone says reflects, I don't think of it as just not being absorbed. I think of it as like, oh, it bounced off. Whoa, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, wow, look at that mirror. No, yeah, I guess in astronomy, I would say that that's definitely correct, that the opposite of reflect is definitely absorbed.
Yeah. It's just not also something you run into. Okay. So that was an interesting conversation about astronomy.
Yeah, I really enjoy astronomy, if you didn't know.
Yeah, I can tell. It seems like you know a lot more than me.
I doubt that. I'm sure you probably know as much as I do. I just have different, I don't even know.
Different realms of knowledge.
I'm not having words. Yeah. Different preferences of what I want to look at in terms of astronomy.
Well, now that we have already gotten the cat out of the bag, I suppose we should move on from science and go to something more.
Personal.
I was gonna say ancient, but we can do personal if you prefer.
Something more ancient. What were you going to do ancient-wise?
History.
All right, let's talk
Yeah, I
about
was gonna say
history.
something
Ancient
more
history?
historical, but that's a bad segue.
Ancient history?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, which Mesopotamian civilization do you find the most interesting? So you're probably gonna have to look up a list of them. Just off the top of my head, there's the Sumerian one, the Akkadians, the Babylonians, the Assyrians,
Okay.
the
I'm going to sound
Phoenicians,
dumb. I might not sound
the
dumb.
Persians.
Okay, yeah, so there's the Neolithics, which are way long ago. The Akkadians, the Urs, the third dynasty of Ur.
No, that's the Sumerians.
It says this is in Mesopotamia. This is on the Mesopotamia wiki.
Huh.
The Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Minoans, the
Minoans.
Old and Middle Assyrian period, the Persian Babylonia or Achaemenid Assyria, Seleucid Mesopotamia, Parthian Babylonia, Osroene,
Oh, now you're getting into the ones that are much more recent.
2nd century BC to 3rd century AD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm just talking about like the real old ones.
Yeah. I remember hearing about the Akkadians, but I don't think I remember learning very much about the Akkadians.
No, I don't remember anything about
The
them.
first ancient Semitic-speaking empire of Mesopotamia, centered in the city of Akkad. Its surrounding region, also called Akkad in ancient Mesopotamia in the Bible. The empire united Akkadian and Sumerian speakers under one rule. The Akkadian Empire exercised influence across Mesopotamia, the Levant, and Anatolia, sending military expeditions as far south as Dilmun and Magan, modern
You're all up, I'm
Bahrain
gonna
and
pause.
Oman. Construction of Natufian culture structures beginning earlier than 9000 BC, the very beginning of Holocene epoch in geologic history. Jericho has evidence of settlement dating back to 10,000 BC. During the younger Dryas period of cold and drought, permanent habitation of any one location was impossible. However, the Ain es Sultan spring at what would become Jericho was a popular camping ground for the Natufian hunter-gatherer groups who left a scattering of crescent-shaped microlith tools behind them.
Oh, okay.
So, very old.
Yeah, if you want to get really old, you could talk about the Göbekli Tepe formations that are in Turkey. It's believed that those are even older than the Mesopotamian civilizations dating back to around 12,000 BC.
So, what is that? It's ancient Turkey.
Yeah, but like you'll probably find it better under Göbekli Tepe.
I don't know how to spell that.
Oh, I don't know. But basically, the whole premise is this guy in I think it was just the mid 2000s actually. He was digging in his backyard and he uncovered this giant mausoleum that was all made out of stone, and it's made a lot of historians reconsider how early civilizations go back, because just by carbon dating some of the area around there, which I don't know how much you can really trust, to be honest. There wasn't a lot of carbon there, and it can always just be spread around from some other time. But they dated it back to around 12,000 BC, and there's a lot of speculation that the whatever civilization that lived there at that time, they actually buried the entire structure just so that nobody would find it. And to say the least, we're not really sure why or how exactly the whole thing exists.
Yeah. See, this doesn't make any sense because that's not true at all. I looked up oldest structures in the world to see if that, was on the list, because obviously it sounds like it would be the list topper.
Yeah.
But they're saying that the megalithic structures in Malta from 2500 BC are the oldest.
Well,
and I was
that's
like, no,
not even close
not
to
even
true.
close to the oldest. Exactly.
Huh.
Um, 3000 BC. That's not very interesting. 2700 BC. Also very not interesting. And that's it. Wow, what a horrible article.
Oh wait, they found it in the mid 1960s. That was pretty far off from that.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all just mostly made out of stone. It looks like one of those Jordanian structures. Like the whole paintings that are carved into the mountain.
Yeah.
I forget what that's called, but
I don't know what they're called either, but I know what you're talking about. Jordanian mountain paintings.
Yeah, who cares? But yeah, there's a lot of speculation about how structures like that come about, and I know there's one in Lebanon, I want to say that like it just Baalbek, Lebanon, that looks completely crazy. It looks like the Earth got an erection or something, and it's just like this giant stone that
erection or something.
Trust me, it that's what it looks like, and it's just the entire. We're not sure how ancient people are able to do some of the incredible things that we found. And that's where history gets controversial. You have people.
This is a stock photo, but I think this is what you're talking about. I'm gonna send it to you on Discord.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like a giant rectangle that's.
These are just like not cave paintings, but mountain paintings. You can kind of see them at the bottom.
Yeah.
A lot of camels.
Well, they are in Lebanon.
Mostly camels.
But yeah, it's supposedly even today it's difficult for us to transport this thing. Not that we're trying to transport it now, but just the actual weight of the structure.
Yeah.
Mm. And that's where a lot of historians choose to be like, "Ooh, ancient aliens," or "Oh, there's been multiple."
What are your thoughts on megalithic structures, like very large structures, such as Stonehenge and some temples, like the temples in Malta that we were just talking about? These giant structures that have no way that they could have been man-made, but it's possible that they were.
Also, just the feasibility of them.
Yeah, just if obviously yes they exist, but who do you think made them, or how do you think they were made?
Well,
or you can just pick one. Not obviously, you don't have to generalize for all of the structures because some of them are very different than others.
Yeah. For most of them, I want to say that the people during the time built them, but it doesn't seem likely, honestly. And just looking at something like Egypt, where you have stuff like the Great Sphinx, I talked about this with Yash, with the whole speculation that the Sphinx was actually uncovered, and the rain damage around the Sphinx that would point to it being way older than we're currently saying.
Yeah.
It seems like somebody else built these structures, and it wasn't the people living at that time.
Hold on. Let's see.
No, I'm not some crazy. I'm not some crazy person that's like, oh, ancient aliens, but it seems plausible.
It definitely doesn't seem as crazy when you think about these feats that they were able to accomplish with little to no tools.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing aliens.
I mean, I can kind of understand the pyramids, but these structures that seemingly have no purpose whatsoever, like Stonehenge or like the temples of Malta, yeah, they're temples. That makes sense, and they're big. So if they really wanted a temple that badly, they could probably get it done with all their people. But things like the rollright stones, or I don't think the Easter Island heads count as a megalithic structure. I think they're just a thing. There are a lot of megalithic structures kind of like Stonehenge in a way, though, which is very weird.
Oh, really?
Like huge rocks. Like here's one. Pentre Ifan is like a stone lean-to almost.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, and then there's I don't know what the Great Dolmen of Zambujeiro is, but it's in Portugal. Barnenez looks like a wall of some sort, actually.
Oh, and then there's Puma Punku as well.
Where's that?
No clue.
Nice.
Let's see. Puma Pun.
Well, okay, hold on. I have to figure out what this word means because it's being tossed around everywhere. Okay, it's a tomb.
Bolivia.
Dolmen. Dolmen is a type of single chamber megalithic tomb. So that's the reasoning behind why most of these things are what they are. So like a lot of these rock formations kind of look like Stonehenge could have been a circular arrangement of these dolmen, these tombs, but it doesn't really make much sense because A, why are the rocks on the side gone, and B, if they are gone, what happened to the people inside, and also where those rocks go, because those rocks couldn't have been easy to move.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a pretty viable theory, I think, that they were dolmen because they look very similar.
Yeah, my only guess is that our iteration of humans isn't the first iteration. It seems kind of weird to think that we're the first in the billions of years that Earth has been around, that we're the first intelligent life to really have formed here. It makes tons of sense that humans could have been around far past the 10,000 year mark or wherever the 100,000 year mark, let's say, where most people put it at. Why not have humans have developed to, if not our current stage, then like a point where they could use iron tools or something, or anything that it really can create feasibility for making structures like this. Why not have that? And then they just went extinct like anything else on the planet.
Yeah, I mean,
it just takes one
these
asteroid.
dolmens make sense, so I could assume that they were a human invention. But I would not be surprised if we somehow learn in our future that there was a whole nother intelligent species before us on this Earth.
Yeah,
because if you think about how long the Earth has been around, and then how long humans have existed, it's sad.
Yeah,
we've existed for like 2% of the Earth's total life.
Yeah, it's a bit
or less.
Way less, and it's a bit egotistical to think that humans are the natural end course of evolution.
Yeah, we're like, yep, humans top of the food chain, we got it.
Yeah.
No, that can't be it. There's got to be more.
Yeah, and there's a big trend in history right now, really any academic field, to assume that the current knowledge that we have is the most
the knowledge we're going to get.
Yep, the most perfect version, and we can never change that, despite the fact that we have entire subjects formed on the grounds that we are trying to figure out what is wrong and how to replace it in science. But I suppose you get attached to your ideas.
Yep.
Okay, so going off of that Mesopotamian question that seemed to spawn this, if you had to choose between the three ancient Mesoamerican civilizations, those being the Incan, the Mayan, or the Aztec ones, which would you choose?
I feel like the Mayans and the Aztecs contributed more than the Incans, but I think that the geographic location of the Incans would be much cooler. Just because they're up in the mountains and they have these really high elevations, and it's so good for farming and for agriculture. It would be
as long as you know terraced farming.
What?
As long as you know terraced farming, it's not going to be very good until then.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, they figured it out.
Luckily.
Yeah, if they hadn't, then that would have been quite the disaster. What about you? I think that I'd say Mayan or Aztec, most likely. And if I had to choose between them, I'd probably just say Mayan.
Yeah, I'd probably go Incan just because I think I know the most about them. The Mayans, it seems like they just lived in the rainforest, and I don't think I would like that very much. And the Aztecs, I don't really know anything about them.
Well, the Mayans have, their very wrong calendar.
Yeah, and their very habitual human sacrifice.
Oh yeah, of course. The heads rolling down the what are those called? They're not called pyramids.
It's not ziggurats.
No, they're not. They're not ziggurats either. I was gonna say that too. Locations? Not locations. Pyramids, I guess. Human sacrifice and Maya culture. That's not what I wanted, though. I mean, that's kind of what I wanted, but it's not going to tell me where.
Well, it seems like it's called the Mayan pyramids.
I guess they're. I mean, they look like pyramids, but I didn't know that we could call them pyramids just because they're not necessarily.
Maybe step pyramids.
Yeah, they are like step pyramids. Yeah, but human sacrifice in Mayan culture was a huge, huge thing. They did it in a lot of different ways. They had decapitation, heart removal, arrow sacrifice, and apparently there are other methods.
Yeah, if not for that, I'd probably go with them just for as much knowledge as they had.
A sacrifice bound to the stake with his hands tied behind his head. The victim was disemboweled. A woman in her 20s was entombed alive to accompany a deceased nobleman as a funerary offering. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Ooh, what is that called? Ooh, this is going to make me think now. It is a Hindu marriage sacrifice. Sacrifice. Not sacrifice. Is that sacrifice? I guess. Suicide.
Wait, so they're committing suicide as they're getting married, or?
No, basically there was this thing in when we were learning about Hinduism. There's a ritual where if I guess it was not practiced widely, but it was practiced in a few places. If you're married and your husband dies,
Oh,
he gets
okay.
burned, and then you have to jump in the fire like with him. But I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Oh, probably capitulation.
No, it's okay. Let's see.
Well, I don't know about that, but all of Hinduism has a lot of really interesting ideas, and there's a lot of connections in Hinduism to mushroom culture, actually.
Mushroom culture, huh?
Yeah, like just in
Also,
terms of a lot of the imagery and the worship of the cow. Actually, there's a lot of links to the manure of cows always sprouting mushrooms, and perhaps that's why Hindus revere cows so much, because they birth mushrooms, which are obviously pretty mind enlightening. But that's just one theory. One theory that's helping to stall.
God, dude, this is really hard to find. I know exactly what I'm talking about, and now I can't find it, and it's gonna kill me.
Well, we'll come back to that.
Huh?
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, I'll try and figure it out.
Let's see. Okay, this is an interesting question. How would you rank the 7 wonders of the world? And I'll give you a list of them right now.
Ancient wonders or modern wonders?
Well, we can
Because
do
they are
both.
different now.
I'll start you with the modern wonders, because
Okay.
those are a little easier to.
Yeah. Okay. So, the 7 new wonders of the world are the Great Wall of China. For those who obviously aren't reading along with us, the Great Wall of China, the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio, Machu Picchu, Chichen Itza, which is a step pyramid in Mexico, an Aztec pyramid actually, Roman Colosseum, the Taj Mahal, Petra in Jordan, which is that giant sand. I don't know what it is. I guess it's a temple of some kind. It's a temple carved into the side of a.
Yeah, that was the
mountain.
one I was talking about.
So what? That was what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've seen it before, but I didn't know that it was. Oh, it's apparently an amphitheater.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a monastery and an amphitheater? Question mark.
Huh. I didn't know there was an inside. I thought it was just all
Apparently
paintings.
constructed intricate tunnels and water chambers helped create a pseudo-oasis. A number of incredible structures carved into stone, a 4,000-seat amphitheater, and an El Dir monastery have also helped the site earn its fame. So, ranking from 1 to 7, 1 being my favorite and 7 being my least favorite. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say that my favorite is probably Machu Picchu. Second favorite is probably the Taj Mahal. Third is the Coliseum. Fourth is probably the Christ the Redeemer statue, because that is pretty insane. Fifth is the Great Wall. Sixth is the Chichen Itza, and then seventh is the Petra.
What don't you like about Petra?
I don't not like the Petra. I just don't find it. I mean, it is pretty insane that they carved it all out of stone, but I don't find it as impressive as, you know, the Taj Mahal or the Colosseum or this giant statue.
Yeah.
Or a wall that stretches across like quite a bit of 4,000 miles of China. So.
Yeah. Do you think any of the other finalists, those being the Acropolis, the Alhambra, which is just one of those Spanish palaces, apparently, Angkor Wat, the Eiffel Tower, Hagia Sophia, the Kiyomosio Dera, which is like one of those hanging gardens in Japan, the Moai, which is just those Easter Island heads, the like a German castle, the Red Square, the Statue of Liberty, Stonehenge, the Sydney Opera House, or Timbuktu.
They're saying Red Square is a wonder of the world?
Apparently. One of the finalists, at least. Do you think any of those should have been taken over any of the other ones?
I have to definitely look through the list, because I kind of heard like maybe 5 of the things you said, but I wasn't really paying attention because I was looking up Alhambra because I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, well, let's start with the first runner-up, that being Acropolis.
Where are you on world.new7wonders.com?
No, it's on Wikipedia.
Okay, so New 7 Wonders of the World. Does it say finalists here?
No clue.
Here we go. Yeah, Acropolis definitely, I would say is. Alhambra is cool, but I don't think it's as cool. Angkor Wat, definitely. Angkor Wat is insane. The Eiffel Tower, I guess, but
I'm gonna say no.
I'm going to say no, because then if I did that, I definitely have to include the Statue of Liberty, and I just don't think that they're the same caliber as, you know, the Great Pyramids or the Great Wall of China. I just don't think that they are at all.
We're all
the Hagia Sophia, definitely. I think that could possibly be one, because it's on the same caliber as, or the same level as like the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, it's old enough.
Yeah, it's old enough, and it's beautiful. I don't think any Japanese hanging garden should be it. I don't think that the Easter Island head should be in it. Neuschwanstein? What is this? That giant castle?
Yeah, it's just a big German castle.
It's just a big German castle? Probably not. I don't think the Red Square should be in. I don't think the Statue of Liberty should be in. I don't think Stonehenge should be in. The Sydney Opera House? That's an iffy one, because it is very impressive and it's massive, but
I thought it was too new.
Yeah, I think it's much too new. And then Timbuktu, I don't think Timbuktu should be. Timbuktu as a city, I don't think should be.
Yeah, that one was kind of weird.
Yeah. But I definitely think that Acropolis and Hagia Sophia should probably be it. And Angkor Wat, that's right.
Yeah, and I'm not going to ask you about the more historical ones, because obviously you could never visit those.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do you think Athenian... Now, this is too political for you. I was going to ask what you thought about Athenian democracy and its viability in today's age.
No. Yeah. I don't really want to talk about that right now.
Yeah. No, it's political again.
Want to go personal?
Nope, that's Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, we can go personal. We've got free pages on that. Let's see.
I haven't found a share in 10 minutes.
Do you think we should use sugar or corn syrup to use as sweeteners?
I'd say sugar.
Why's that?
I just feel that corn syrup is more
evil?
Dangerous. Not evil, but more dangerous than sugar. If we refine our sugar correctly and we use, okay sugar, then we should be all right. But I think the corn syrup is kind of ruining food.
Yeah, it seems like that also comes down to that argument about Coke, and if new Coke is better than the old one that used cane sugar.
See, I have consumed the old Coke with the cane sugar, because they do make the throwback retro glass bottles that they sell sometimes. And I found it to be pretty good, actually. I thought it was pretty good, at least. But I'm perfectly happy with new Coke just as well.
Yeah, I'm happy not to drink either.
How enraged are you, or not how enraged are you? Are you or are you not enraged that diet products are technically a lie?
What do you mean they're a lie?
Okay, Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi, it's just because they don't use sugar, they use, what is it called? They use the fake sugars like sucralose and, hold on, sugar substitutes.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think that's stupid, but I mean,
Oh yeah, aspartame. That's what I was trying to fucking say. Saccharin and aspartame and sucralose are all like, sugar substitutes, but they're not actually sugar. And because they're not actually sugar, they can say that it's diet. But some of these, like aspartame, is actually not good for you in the slightest.
oh yeah. No, I mean, obviously, I think it's stupid, but just like a lot of other stuff in the food industry, it's just stealing a bunch of words that don't really mean what they say. Like, you have organic, everything has carbon in it, pretty much. What else? You have low-fat stuff where they say, oh, look, this has low fat, but it actually just has a bunch of trans fats, or I don't know if that's what they do, but that seems reasonable. And yeah, it just seems like it's a bunch of propaganda, and the FDA doesn't really seem like it does that great of a job of policing things. I mean, I get that they make everyone put their ingredients on the thing, but how much is that really helping? Do they actually check up on any of that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of food products, what do you think about bread? Like,
what about bread?
Like, do you let yourself eat it?
I don't eat a lot of bread. No, the most bread products I eat is bagels, and that's very rare that I do that. I don't eat bread because I don't make sandwiches or anything like that. But when I buy a sandwich from like Jersey Mike's or somewhere else, I tend to ask for wheat bread as opposed to white bread.
I thought you were going to say you tend to ask for bread.
I tend to ask for bread on my sandwich as opposed to a spoon.
Yeah, can I have a salad, please?
Can I have a bowl,
a meat
sandwich
salad?
bowl, please? You know they do that at Jersey Mike's.
Oh, they do.
You can make any sandwich into a deconstructed bowl for I don't know why, but some reason someone finds joy in it.
Well, it's better than having bread.
I guess.
It seems like bread is one of the worst things for you.
It's the best thing since sliced bread, but oh my, is it bad for you?
Yeah, I made a whole comparison thing here where I said white bread is worse than wheat bread, which is worse than pita bread, which is also worse than Ezekiel bread.
And matzah is better than all of it.
Well, I'm not saying in terms of how good it is, but and matzah's is matzah even bread?
It's unleavened bread.
Oh, it is. Oh. I thought matzah was potato.
Had time to rise.
Oh,
and also doesn't have. I'm pretty sure.
Wasn't that just pita?
Not matzo ball. No, I don't want matzo ball soup recipes right now. I want to know what it is. Here we go. Unleavened flatbread that is part of Jewish cuisine forms an integral element of the Passover festival. Yep. As legend goes, Jews did not have time to wait for the bread to leaven when fleeing Egypt, hence they only consumed matzah. Yep. That sounds right. Yeah, it's just unleavened bread. It's a flat, cracker-like bread. It's kind of like if you were to toast pita, but it's not toasted in and of itself.
Oh, okay. Pita is slightly leavened.
Yeah, pita is slightly leavened in a way that it can, move around and bend.
Okay.
But matzah is just flat, like cracker pita, basically.
Sounds.
So we got matzah, challah, haroset, kugel, latkes.
The kugel.
Matzo ball.
I don't know about kugel.
Kugel. It's like a casserole.
Oh.
It's usually made from egg noodles or potatoes, and it's very, very common Jewish stuff. And latkes are amazing.
Oh, I've had naan.
Naan is great. I love naan. I love Indian food in general.
Yeah, I wish I had more of it.
Because, there's no Indian food places around here, except Taste of India, and I'm pretty sure that's in Richmond. So,
Yeah, I've really wanted to go to an Ethiopian restaurant, actually.
I don't think there are any around here.
No, I checked and there's 2 actually, but I heard from Yash that they don't get particularly good reviews. I don't even know why you want to try Ethiopian food. It's pretty random.
I'll take you to an Ethiopian restaurant, Ryan.
Oh.
We'll figure it out. Addis. Sizable eatery and bar serving traditional Ethiopian dishes, including injera and kitfo.
Yeah, I saw that one in like the Blue Nile.
I don't even know what this is. Okay, yeah, so we have the Nile, the Addis, the Gojo Ethiopian restaurant,
Oh, I haven't heard about the Gojo.
the African on Main.
The African.
African with 2 N's and an E.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
African.
That's
Yeah, but
fucking
Addis,
French.
I mean, these seem to have good reviews, Ryan. I don't know what Yesh was talking about.
No, you're just talking about the Nile restaurant and that are and like the Yachty
The
one.
Nile's got a 4.8, and the Addis has a 4.4.
Oh, well, maybe you just had a bad experience.
Maybe Yash just didn't like Ethiopian food.
Yeah.
He's like, I wouldn't go there. It's not a good restaurant. It's like, why? It's like, oh, I don't like the food. It's like, okay, well, doesn't mean it's not a good restaurant. Just doesn't fit your tastes.
Yeah.
It
I'd
does
be
look kinda
terrible.
interesting, though. It looks like a lot of what is it, purees of sorts. Like a lot of things look pureed. I'm looking at this plate and it's like greens, puree. What seems to be onions, maybe, some kind of beef, an egg, some rice, puree, and then cabbage.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing too.
A lot of. I guess they're not technically curries, but they probably are similar to curries.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I imagine a little less spicy than Indian curries, but
I see. I had some really good Indian food when I was in Los Angeles.
yeah.
There was a little mom and pop Indian place, and I had rice biryani. It was their restaurant's version of rice biryani, and it had like raisins in it, and it was pretty good.
What was it like in Little Mumbai or something?
Nope, it was in Pasadena.
Oh, okay.
Old Town Pasadena, though. It seemed pretty good.
That looks pretty good.
It was called Akbar, like Admiral
Akbar.
Akbar.
Oh, that's funny. Alright. I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to try and transition us away from food. Would you want to win the lottery?
No.
Why not?
You end up paying the taxes for the lottery as well as just the amount that they take off right off the top, as well as on top of that, the fact that no matter what you do with the money, it's not going to really change much. I mean, hey, you can move into a new house, but then once you're out of lottery money from the taxes after a few years, you're not going to be able to afford the new house. You could buy a new car, same thing could happen. You could buy a whole bunch of nice stuff for your current house, but then eventually you're going to not be satisfied with anything, and you're just going to expect nice things, and you're going to be out of money again. I just don't think that the lottery is a very good idea in general. I mean, yes, I would go in for the lottery, but if I won, I probably wouldn't be as happy as people would expect me to be. Just because I know that lottery, I mean, a lot of people say that the lottery ruins your life if you win the lottery.
Well, I think that's just people being weak.
I think that it could possibly ruin it, just because taxes. If lottery winnings and gambling winnings weren't taxed, then I would be more into those things.
Wasn't it just an upfront tax?
No, it's a yearly. I'm pretty sure it's a yearly tax because it's income tax on the year that you get it, but it's also upfront tax when you start, like as soon as you win it. And then on top of that, anything you buy gets added to your I mean, not anything you buy, but if you buy a new house or new car, that accrues more property tax. And then that's just, So yes, you can have a lot of money and not have to pay the income tax if you don't necessarily have any income if you won a $10 million lottery. But I can see where you're coming from in the way that it is just a tax up front and then the tax of that same year and then nothing else after that.
Yeah,
But,
and like I get the fact that you only see like half of it, but still, I mean, half of it's pretty good.
yeah, half of it's fine, and there's nothing wrong with having half of it, but, it's just the inconveniences associated with the lottery. You have friends and family coming out of the woodwork asking for money because now you've made a lot of money all of a sudden and they want your help with things, and oh, Julie's got to get a heart transplant. It's like, well, Julie can pay for her own heart transplant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like that's my thing. If I just be like, okay, screw you. Like, I won the lottery.
I'd
I'm
be
not
like,
helping
I
you.
won the lottery. If I want to give you money, I will. Don't ask for it though, because you're not going to get any if you ask.
Yeah, I mean,
Like obviously, money would be going to my parents and my sister and probably a few of my friends, but otherwise, that money's
a few
mine.
of your friends.
Yes, Ryan.
You're gonna give
You
it to
would get
moochers.
what?
You're gonna give it to the moochers.
Not to the moochers. Only the friends that I feel deserve it or need it.
Well, what do you mean need it? So,
Like some people, maybe their families can't afford to put them through college, but they're smart enough to go through college. So I'll pay for them to go to college if I were to win the lottery, today. But
that seems awfully risky. So
Eh.
you're gonna invest in your friends.
I'll invest in the smartest of my friends. Worst case scenario, I spend like $50K out of my $10 million. It's not a big deal.
That 50K can add up pretty quick.
I'm not planning on doing that for every single one of my friends.
I know, but then when another friend comes over and it's like, "Hey, I saw you gave 50,000,"
and I'm gonna say, nope, out of money, while sitting on my bearskin rug.
Yeah.
In my $20 million mansion.
I don't know. I'd like it just so that I would never have to work.
That's true.
I can work if I
you
want
never have to worry about money, and you could take up so many more hobbies.
Yeah, like I mean, you
just
can
build
work if you
yourself
want.
an archery range in your house if you wanted to. I mean, once you're rich, people kind of stop questioning when you ask for things to be built.
Well, no, I mean you can't waste
I want a
money.
giant statue of me protruding out of the toilet. It's like, what? It's like,
Well,
yes.
no, the whole thing with it is you can't waste money. You just have to
you
immediately put it in the bank and then just don't touch it. And
if you win the lottery, you take out a portion of that money. You say, this is all I'm going to spend. I'm saving the rest. You spend it on, what your wants and maybe some needs if you have needs that aren't being met. And then you just leave it. Or you open up a certified, certified deposit account, a CDA.
Where you actually can't touch it.
And then you actually can't touch it, and it accrues a lot more interest than regular accounts, and you could probably get a lot more money. But keep in mind, the FDIC only insures up to $250K.
Yeah, exactly. Well, can't you make a bunch of accounts under your name?
I mean, the offshore accounts insure as well. You could. Yeah. I would probably just try and figure out how offshore accounts work, and then open up an offshore account in like the Cayman Islands or something like you always hear about in the shows and the movies and books.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's got Swiss bank accounts. What does that mean?
Must like mean the Irish double loophole or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I don't. I'd like to think I'm too morally righteous to do that, but who knows when you have $10 million.
I think that it would be safer for me to do that. I don't think it's a matter of morals or ethics because it's not like it's illegal. It's just the fact that you're putting your money somewhere else. But I guess technically then it's not taxable by the U.S. government, which is then illegal.
I just see it as cheating.
I feel like I would probably split my money to a bunch of different things. Probably invest some of it, but not a lot of it.
Yeah. What do you think about banks? Because banks are a bit of a sore spot for me. Because I just don't know how much you can trust them.
What do you mean? Like, you don't trust banks to keep your money safe, or you don't trust banks to...
No, I don't mean like they're not going to invest in the next security camera and Robert Joe comes in and give me all the money. No, I just mean how the banks work and like the business practice.
I have no clue how banks really work. I mean, I don't think without being in the banking industry, nobody really knows how the rates are calculated and how they handle all the money that they have.
Well, I mean, you understand the general, not purpose, but the general premise behind banks that they amalgamate all of the money and then they use it to give out loans or they use it to give out investments.
Yeah, I mean, yes, they make their money off of the interest that they give on the loans that they give out and also the interest that people have to pay them for general other things. So, yes, that's how the banks make their money, but they're in place to have not a safe space, but a place for people that can keep their money safe without having, $150,000 cash under their mattress, because that's not going to be comfortable to sleep at night.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I personally have a checking and a savings account, but because I don't have a job, I don't have income, so I could really just close those right now because all that's happening is they're losing money because it's, keep the change, transfer to this account. Oh, keep the change, transfer to this account. And eventually one of the accounts goes negative and then you have to pay an extra fee on top of that.
Yeah, I just have like $1,000 or so in a checking account from refereeing, but I mean, that's nothing that anyone would really be like, "Ooh, give me that $1,000."
I
No,
would. Ryan,
well, I mean, yeah, but
give me that 1,000.
I mean, some adult who has like real expenses where, oh, great, now I can pay this month's rent.
Oh, great! I could pay off the car for the next 25 days.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so excited and not at all in debt. Nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like, I mean, what else? How else? What is your alternative solution if not banks?
I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that my problem with the banks is I don't trust money in general, and I'm like, okay, what is this thing that I'm investing in? I'm getting paid in this fake value premise where like I have,
I
yeah,
think money. I think money is really a dumb concept.
I mean, yeah, it just
I
makes,
feel like we could have easily gotten along bartering, and then eventually had some other form of, not even currency, but just some other form of getting our needs and our wants without having to construct this money that's ever so changing. At least the fact that the amount of money, of printed money, the value of printed money can change makes it just that much more stupid, because you're like, oh, $1. Oh, nope, that's not $1 anymore. That's now 96 cents. And you're like, what? What
yeah,
do you mean? And then they're like, oh, nope, that's not $1 anymore. That's now $1.26. And you're like, what? The fact that the value of money, printed money, technically it's not printed money, but the value of money can fluctuate makes no sense. And the fact that everybody has different money that translates into other people's money makes it even more difficult. Because like Zimbabwe,
yes,
you'd
I
have
was
like
thinking about that
trillions of
example.
dollars for, it's like, what is it? Zimbabwe is like one, like 18 1,000ths or 10,000ths of a dollar.
Oh, it's way worse than that. They had to redenominate their $1 quadrillion to one Zimbabwe dollar just so they could get their thing back under control. Literally, their $1 quadrillion.
Oh yeah, they don't even have it anymore. That's right. I forgot that they completely
It was back in
stopped that.
2009.
They ended the what's it called? The distribution of the Zambian kwacha.
The kwacha.
The kwacha.
Was that? Is that French?
I don't know. I just realized that that's not Zimbabwe. That's Zambia.
Oh, that's rough.
Zimbabwean dollar. ZWD. That's what I'm trying to say. So ZW. Okay, USD to ZWD without the apostrophe.
Okay, so it seems like where it really got crazy was in between 2007 and 2008. So here's the inflation rate from 2004 to 2008. You had 132% of the dollar, 585% in 2005, 1,281% in 2006, 66,000 in 2007, and then 231 million% in 2008 in July. And then in mid-November, it was 79 billion%.
Jesus. So apparently, bank accounts with balances of up to 175 quadrillion Zimbabwean dollars will be paid $5.
Oh, okay.
With those balances, 175 quadrillion dollars will be paid in an exchange rate of 1 for 35 quadrillion Zimbabwe dollars. The highest and last banknote to be printed in 2008 was a 100 trillion Zimbabwe dollar note. It was not enough to ride a public bus to work for a week.
Yeah.
The bank said customers who imagine going and getting a coffee. Oh, that'll be 25 quadrillion dollars. Wait, what?
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's insane. I can't even imagine. Have you seen the pictures though of the kids with stacks of money taller than them? They're
Oh
like,
no,
oh,
that's not
25
Zimbabwe.
Cents.
That's
What is that?
That's the the Weimar Republic during the 1920s.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
theirs was almost as bad.
Yeah, almost.
I don't remember actually which one was worse. Let's see. What was their rate? Let's see. Okay, so by November 1923, the U.S. dollar was worth. This was worse. 4,210,500,000,000 German marks, while the Zimbabwe one only got up to like 15 billion%. This got up to 4 trillion%. So that's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Of course, that was over 5 years, but that makes it even crazier that it lasted 5 years.
Yeah.
Not even public money creation, but private bank money creation that triggered hyperinflation. That's what happened in the Weimar Republic, apparently.
Yeah, that just makes me angrier about World War I now.
Yeah. Both the Weimar and Zimbabwe case studies show that there is a danger when those with power to create money can also benefit from its creation. This is why public money creation proposals stress the importance of having a strict separation of powers as well as appropriate institutional checks and balances. So what was happening was they were given the power to create money and they just made too much money. And then the economy just couldn't handle the influx. And so it underwent a period of hyperinflation. For Zimbabwe, it was a year or less. And for the Weimar Republic, it was 5 years. But that's pretty insane, yeah.
Well, how did they even benefit the people in power? Didn't it screw them over too?
I don't know. I have no clue how that benefited anyone in power. I guess, I don't know. I really don't know. Because they had to have felt that eventually. Like, what is the Zimbabwe higher ups? What is their salaries in the quintillions? I mean, what?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's hilarious.
And you would think you would learn after like a couple days that it wasn't working. You wouldn't keep doing it.
Yeah, like, oh no, this is good. We'll do this. Like, no, don't do this. This is a bad idea.
Yeah, but it was this guy. You remember Mugabe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the president, and he lasted 10 more years.
What? How?
I don't know. He literally had an election in 2008.
They're like, everything's fine.
That's nuts.
They're like, everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
Gosh, it helps to be corrupt.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was a wipeout too. He won 85% of the vote.
Have you seen the what is it? The worst case of voter fraud in history?
No.
Where the guy got like 160,000 votes and there was only like 60,000 people total on the island that he was.
In those island nations. I thought you were going to talk about like the Iranian one or something, but
no, hold on. It was that's not what this is all fucking gross. This is all Trump stuff.
Was it Tuvaluers? I'm trying to think of island nations. Kiribati?
Hold on.
Micronesia? The Philippines?
No.
Japan?
Oh my gosh. Please stop it, Washington Times. Oh, the ads. They don't stop. I have ad blocker on. It's still happening.
You need super ad block.
This is Philadelphia, Indiana, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Damn it. I don't know where it is.
Ooh, apparently there was voter fraud in this 2008 Zimbabwe general election as well.
Oh, well, maybe that's what...
Ooh, and intimidation. Allegations of violence, fervor international response. Ooh, a headquarters raid. A United Nations Security Council meeting on it. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good.
Ooh, and Mugabe apparently lost the first round. But somehow he blew out the guy in the second round of elections.
Interesting. This is going to make me sad that I can't find this. This is like the third thing, this recording, that I haven't been able to find something really interesting that I've been trying to find.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to move on again.
Yeah, we're going to have to move on. That's fine.
Let's see. This could
I might have it in my Reddit upvotes, so I'm going to start browsing while we talk.
Yeah, sure. What are some cool words that you know?
Cool words. Do I have to know...
What they mean?
Yeah.
No. Just that you
Okay.
think they sound cool.
Disestablishmentarianism. Anti-disestablishmentarian.
Okay.
I was like, no, that's not the whole word. Also, quizzical is fun. Quizzical is a fun word. It's not a long word.
Yeah, that's a good one. Something I was talking about with Bailey in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon scene, the game Shadows of Almia. That's an interesting one.
That is fun.
And there's obviously LSD being lysergic acid. That sounds pretty cool. Then you have something like octopodes. That's always a good one. I think I wrote about that in a couple of college essays. Why that is the best word. If you had to go vegan, vegetarian, or pescatarian, which would you do?
What is pescatarian?
You can only meat you can eat is fish. I think Cam
And
Newton
would you
does
say
that.
that if I was vegetarian, I could eat fish and chicken still because most vegetarians do that?
No.
No? Then pescatarian. I prefer fish to no meat at all.
Yeah.
So here's, this is fun. We can go through these. 52 interesting words that you should know. These are in backwards alphabetical order. That's interesting. Zenith. I know like 90% of these words, it seems. Zenith, zealot, yearn, yawner, a person who yawns. Thank you. Xenophobia, x-axis. That's not a word. That's a phrase. That's a phrase.
X-axis.
Wonky, wanton, allude or lascivious.
I don't know what that is.
Person. That's a fun word. I want to know how to pronounce that word right there.
Lascivious.
Lascivious. Lascivious, my bad.
Oh.
Feeling or revealing an overt and often offensive sexual desire.
Oh.
I don't want to know that word.
Great.
Vermilion, vague, unique, uncanny, tenacious, tangible, serene. Wow, what is this? Oh, that's not fair. That's not a word. That's a medicine.
What is it?
Sequinavir. Hold on. Sequinavir. It's an HIV antiviral.
Oh, that's like the quinine for malaria.
Yeah. Rhetorical, rambunctious. Oh, this is interesting. Quixotic?
Quixotic. I know. Quixotic, yeah.
It's quixotic.
Yeah, I think that actually comes from
idealistic, unrealistic, and impractical. That's a good word.
I think that actually specifically has roots from Don Quixote, as in Quixote.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Quell, peak, paradigm, oxymoron, optimistically, nostalgic narrative, misanthrope. That sounds like me. Someone who dislikes people in general.
That's a noun?
Yeah.
Huh.
A person who dislikes humankind and avoids human society.
That sounds like a verb.
Melancholy, lucid, lethargic, ken.
Ken.
Ken. K-E-N. Ken. Ken is one's range of knowledge or sight. Such determination is beyond my ken.
Yeah.
Their conversation was beyond my ken.
Okay, so it's like a Eastern word.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound like an Eastern word. It says it's Northern English. Karma, jurisdiction. Jejune. Hold on. Jejune. Naive, simplistic, or superficial. Jejune. Irony, integrity, hypnosis, hyperbole, guise, gallivant, fortitude, fervent, esoteric, empathy, dubious, disposition, cynical, capricious?
Yeah, capricious.
Capricious, bypass, benevolent, ambiguous, and alliteration. These were not interesting words. There was like 3 interesting words.
Yeah.
That was quixotic, misanthrope, and jejune.
And I think it's pronounced esoteric.
I've always heard of esoteric, but I guess you can say it might be either. Hold on, let's check. What does Google say?
Well, those IPA pronunciations aren't going to help.
Esoteric, yeah.
So they kind of do a soft
I've
A.
Heard both. I've heard both, but I'll give that one to you because I agree with both.
I don't know. I'm sick of arguing pronunciation with people.
Oh yeah. Here, these are Oxford knows what's up. These are actually interesting words. There's a word that's just AA,
That's interesting.
a kind of volcanic lava that forms jagged masses with a light, frothy texture. Abaya, a full-length, sleeveless or outer garment worn by Arabs. Abomasum, a fourth stomach of a ruminant, such as a cow or sheep. Absquatulate, to leave somewhere abruptly. I like that one. Is that how you pronounce it too? Hold on, let's see. I don't think we have. Here we go.
Sounds reasonable.
Wait. They don't have a what's it called? They don't have a verbal pronunciation. They only have the phonetics, and I cannot understand those phonetics. So I'm going to have Google say it.
I don't think anyone can.
Yep. Absquatulate. Leave abruptly.
Oh, it comes from abscond.
Does it? Here we go. Oh, damn. Oh, my gosh.
Here, let me take a stab at these. So what website are you on?
It is, if you look up interesting words, it's Oxford Dictionaries. It says weird and wonderful words is their list.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Adcetitious. It was too many I's and T's for me to understand. Adcetitious, Afreet, Albertopolis, Alcazar, amphibology. Oh, wait. Yeah, amphibology, oh my.
Amphisbaena?
Amphisbaena, Anfractuous, Anguilliform,
Apoptosis.
Apoptosis?
Yeah.
Or is it
cell suicide.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Duh. Apple knocker.
Great.
Argle bargle. Copious but meaningless talk or writing. Ryan, we should rename the podcast Argle Bargle.
Yeah.
Argus-eyed, which is the guy with a lot of eyes. Argos, not Argus. Argute, Ariel, Aristotle, Aspergillum, maybe. Astrobleem. I would say that's Astrobleem, right? Or Astrobleme.
No clue.
Attic salt. Attic salt means you have incisive wit. Autonomy, badmash, bandoline, bardolatry, humorous, excessive admiration of Shakespeare. Oh, that's funny. Barmicide.
Okay, seeing as we're only at the B's, let's just see if there's any other interesting ones we can throw out there.
Calathumpian.
Criticaster.
I'm going to go down a little bit more. Funambulist. A funambulist is a tightrope walker.
Defervescence.
Oh, here's one, Ryan. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it until Google says it. Floxinihilipilification.
Okay.
Go down to the F's.
Let's see.
The action or habit of estimating something. Oh, man.
Oh, that's a lot of I's.
I know.
Flossinihilipilification.
Yeah, if you put it in Google, the guy actually pronounced it pretty well. It says floxinihilipilification. Nihilipilification.
Okay.
Jesus.
All right, what else do we have?
Interesting. We have the kinnikinnick.
Diponosophist.
How about kinnick? Or liver pipe. Or loblolly. Or lobola. Or logamaki. Hey, we've had a few of these. Logamakis, argument about words. Lycanthropy. Lycanthropy? I don't think that's. Let's see, what else we got? We got noctambulist, a sleepwalker. Mumpsimus?
Associator?
O-O?
Oh.
O-O, like a little face.
An endangered Hawaiian bird.
Ooh, rhinoplasty. We know what that is.
Pantagruelian. Enormous. That's a fun synonym for enormous.
Picnic with a
Isn't
K
it?
and a Y.
Isn't it? Pantagruelian. That's pretty fun. Panergic. Able or ready to do anything. Peely-wally. Looking pale and unwell. Peaver. Hopscotch. Periapt. An item worn as a charm, or an amulet. Oh
Yeti.
my god, here's one, Ryan.
Yeah.
Here's one.
What is it, spaghettification?
Nope. It is. I
Sesquipedalian?
accidentally put a backslash after, or forward slash after it. Here we go, there's the YouTube video for this one. No, I'm still talking to Ryan. I know.
It's this one. Pneumo no.
Yeah, pneumo mono ultra microscopic volcanoconiosis.
Jeez. I hope that was worth it.
Yeah.
Porodyna?
Presenteeism. Provise. Prosopagnosia. The inability to recognize the faces of familiar people, typically as a result of brain damage. That is sad, but I didn't know that there was a word for it.
Zorro.
Sesquipedalian. Of a word having many syllables, or a piece of writing using many long words.
Ustad. Not to be mistaken with Usted.
Usted.
Yeah.
Stud muffin.
Okay. On that note, I think we're going to end that one. I think that's
What about triskaidekaphobia?
Well, we have it now.
Extreme superstition about the number 13. What's Santa?
Santa. Okay.
Not Santa.
How do you organize your computer?
How so?
Well, like, how do you set up your folders?
I have a folder for games, a folder for my gaming applications, a folder for my Ethereum mining, and then everything else is just its own application.
Do you like to bookmark on the web?
Yes.
Well, how do you set that up?
How do I set that up?
Yeah.
Like, how do I arrange them once I have my bookmarks?
Yeah.
I have most of my important things towards the left, and then the least important things go towards the right.
Huh. What do you mean by that?
So like Google Apps and Google Classroom and College Board and our textbook for government and ACT test prep are all on the left.
What do you mean on the left?
Okay, if you open your browser,
yeah,
you see your bookmarks on the top underneath your address bar.
Yeah.
Or on the left.
Sure.
And you can arrange them if you move them.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I moved them.
I didn't know you could move them.
I'm gonna have to take a break for a second.
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay, I see what you mean now. I can just click and drag them. I feel like such an old man right now.
Yeah, so I just have all of my school stuff and important, future career things there. But then I have things like bookmarks on Newegg and Amazon and, Reddit on the right side. And those icebreaker questions.
Okay. Do you sync it up with your phone?
Yeah, I have my accounts synced. My Google Chrome is synced through all of my devices.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So I have the same bookmarks. Like if I bookmark something on my phone, I can go to my desktop and I have mobile bookmarks as well as regular bookmarks. Yeah, so like if I go to my mobile bookmarks, I have a bunch of... Well, I don't know why I have some of these. I have a bunch of apparently some knives, which are Amazon links, and then I have a Rocketbook Wave Smart Notebook. I know what this is. Okay, so this is it's a notebook that you write in, and then you put it in the microwave, and all the writing disappears out of it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I forgot about this thing. You write I don't think you have to write with a special pen. You might actually have to. Oh yeah, no, okay. So it's also on top of that. Also, it writes, and then you can send your notes to like Google Docs.
Oh, okay.
So you can send your notes to Google Docs with, and then you also microwave it to reuse it. I might have to invest in one of these for college. These things look pretty cool, actually. Oh, it says reuse your reuse your notebook up to 5 times. I was about to say, wait, what? Yeah, I think I could probably fill that notebook 5 times. It doesn't look like a very big notebook. Yeah, it's got QR codes in the corners. It seems that you can scan with your app.
That could be a fun thing to get.
Tells the Rocketbook app the page number of each scan. Assign each icon to the destination of your choice. Any folder inside Dropbox, Google Drive, Evernote, or your email address. Nice. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, I think this would be a good finishing question. Is there anything you really want to try but you don't have enough confidence to?
I really want to try like actually racing, like in a race car.
Like NASCAR style or just like a drag race?
I think like Formula One style would be more interesting than NASCAR style, or like what's it called? Like rally driving,
Okay.
like rallycross. Because I really love driving and I like being able to go fast, but I don't think I have the confidence to go through the turns like the people in rally driving do, or go 200 miles an hour like the people in F1 do.
Gotcha.
But it would be very fun, and I wish I could try it.
Why don't you?
Well, there's probably a huge barrier to entry. I don't think they'd let a 17-year-old with a year and a half of driving experience just drive an F1 car around a track and compete with the best of the best.
No, probably not.
And I also don't think that they could do the same thing for rallycross, because that's way more dangerous.
Yeah, I imagine that wouldn't necessarily be an open field.
No, I don't think so. What about you? You have anything?
Yeah, for me, it's something I've always wanted to do is go live in a different country or like a different city.
I'll see. I would definitely do that as well. But I think I actually have the confidence to do that.
Oh, really?
I don't see in my mind. I don't see an issue aside from like probably language. If there was like a country that didn't have English as a second language, which most countries do, that's why I'd probably move to the Netherlands or something like that, because almost everyone in the Netherlands knows a little bit of English, and Dutch isn't that hard to learn.
Yeah, I'd love to give it a try. I just don't know if I'd be willing to. Like, I've moved around, but
I think the hardest thing would probably be trying to find a job.
yeah, that's my concern. Just like getting
unless your
started.
job enables you to move over there, I wouldn't leave the country without a job in the new country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like my feeling with it is I would have to try like you're in the middle of college or just after college, but that seems like the worst time when you don't have any stable footing and you don't have a job. But
like if I was like, definitely I'll try and study abroad if I can, because that would be a kind of an experience like that, but it's not necessarily as difficult as straight up moving to that place.
yeah, are those fully funded?
I think you have to pay a little bit. One of my sister's friends studied abroad in Peru. I'm pretty sure you pay something, but I think most of it's funded, and then they assign you a host family, or maybe you don't get a host family because you're a college student. I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm sure that wherever you end up going, you can figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you talking with me. Thanks for talking on this last episode of the pre-recorded episodes. If you're listening to this, then the next episode is probably going to be after your feedback, where we have suddenly become self-conscious and we're going to be super uncomfortable and tread water very carefully.
Yes.
Yeah, so
100%.
Thank you all for your great feedback. We probably got that on iTunes, where you have hopefully already left a review for us. If not, perhaps you sent us an yeah, perhaps you would like to. Do it.
Do it now.
Or maybe you would like to send us an email, perhaps, at our topicalpodcast@gmail.com.
Topical Podcast Media.
Dang it, I always screw that up.
You always forget the media. I might change the email address.
Yeah.
topicalpodcastmedia@gmail.com, or you can, leave us feedback in the comments
and we will definitely be taking any feedback, positive or negative. Constructive criticism is accepted into consideration when we're making our further episodes, because we really are just here to make this the best experience for you guys, as well as have fun and talk.
Absolutely. And just get a better experience than what we've seen from texting.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you for this ride for the past 10 episodes, and hey, we look forward to whatever comes next.
10 more, 100 more, 1,000 more. All right.
See ya.